Well, hello there, everybody. This is Manish, a licensed natural hair care practitioner. I'm sitting here at the tutoring desk. I have some good news and I have some very good news. Let's go with the good news first. The good news is I washed my hair, did not put the rubber bands in it. And so I know for a fact now that they're locked. They came out just like this. It's still, well, I would do like this, but I don't want it to get on the computer. But so that's the good news. The very good news is you get to actually see what happens when you have loose locks with your natural hair. They continually, like normally, of course, if you've been working with Miss Janice and being tutored by her, when she gets to the part of your hair when it talks about natural hair, excuse me, when it talks about using the tail comb or a tool or an implement, my implements, of course, is these rubber bands, and they're starting to pop. So that means that you know that I've been basically using the same ones, and when you use them, you put them in the water or you put the oil on them, etc. They just begin to stretch, stretch, stretch. So they're getting looser and looser. Some of them I had to peer through. But some of them start out like this, and of course, these are not the ones that you're going to use. Let me see if I can get a better picture of it. I can't tell. Maybe you, yeah. Oh, okay. Wait, hold up. I just noticed that the closer I got, the darker the camera kind of did, but didn't do it that time. Okay, so I'm no. Wait, you probably can't even hear me. Hold on. Oh, you can hear me. All right. So I noticed that the light was blue, and I thought it was usually green. So what I've been doing is I've been opening them as wide as they can get, tw- um, twisting it together once. Put my as long as you can get your finger through and still have some space. Basically grabbing that hair and putting it through, then letting it go. So that's how come there's no like indentation in the hairs at all. But like I said, this time I'm doing it backwards because I really need to see and to make sure that it's locking without doing the comb. I told y'all when I did the comb the last time, I put it in, I heard pop, pop, pop. I'm not doing that no more. I told y'all that when I pulled this one, because this is my test one, I heard pop, 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 or snap, snap, or crackle, crackle, whatever one the hair does. and and I did that. So I said I wasn't gonna do that anymore. I'm just gonna trust the process. And so that's what I did. And I also said that I'm going to do this throughout the month of September. So it's still September. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to do it in, you know, just keep doing it. I haven't decided. But this was considered my protective style to keep the parts in, keep my hair from, just being able to do what it wants to do, but also allowing it um, to grow on its own, but I have to keep my parts. That's one of the things. If you don't want to keep parts and you just want to keep separating, you can do that. Excuse me. I showed y'all how to do that. You continually do like this, continually go the opposite direction, or you continually do this with each and every one. But what we're doing is we're checking out and we're doing the growth of the lock. We're doing the growth of the hair, not necessarily the lock, but the growth of the hair. And so in May, I dyed it to see how much is growing, and you can see the silver coming in again since May, especially back here in the edges. And I try to dye my hair every May. This one, I allow them to grow apart, even though they were in the rubber band. When I did like this, it felt like two. So what I did was I actually let them. I separated them like this with my hands, and then I went in with my finger and separated it so that it can get apart. So instead of three, now there's six back here. So that's the good news. No, that's the very good news. That even though I'm doing them with the rubber bands, they're still doing what they want to do, because that the back rows have become six. Some of them, like I said, are real. Like this one right here is really puffy, but when I go from here all the way down, my thumb is doing this, so I can see if I feel a space. There is no space in those loose locks. And the reason they're called loose locks is because it's just loose hair clumped together, parted, and then or separated. No, I parted these. I parted, and then I just kept going until I don't know September. So I started in June with the loose locks. The first time I did it, I wanted to have the ends just dangling where the I put a knot in the top with the J hook in the top of the hair and just took. Um, I didn't think to put a rubber band in at the end and then thread it through the knot. I didn't even think of that. So I twisted each one like just a regular twist like this till I got to the end, and then I did my fingers like this at the end. I threaded it through the J hook. I'm gonna show you the J hook. I threaded it through the J hook, the hairs through the J hook, and then I pulled it in here, and I just went through each one time with the J hook. No, two times make a knot. So I did it. I made one knot in each one. About a week or so later, after a wash or so, I noticed that the lock had come loose, or the knot, excuse me, had come loose. So then I did. I think I still have one. So I showed y'all how I do it. You take the end, you hold it, you stick your fingers through, and then you pull it through. You put the hairs that you're holding with your one hand, and you pull it through, and you keep doing. I told you I'm not doing that anymore either. So you're gonna have to go look at some of my other videos to find out how I actually lock my hair. Those came out. Then they started separating, and that's how I began to do this through the whole lock itself to see if they're separating. And some of them at the end, you'll see like three and four different. Here's one, here's two, here's three, and then a very thin hair at the end. I'm not pulling it through. I'm just leaving it. But I during this process, I made sure that I can't see. Look how big that one is. See, these are good. And so during the process, I made sure that I showed you every step, the way that we're going, to make sure. I'm noticing that I'm grabbing hair from another lock. So hold on. You don't have to start in the back. I just noticed when I didn't start in an area and then make sure that that area was done, I noticed that I left some rubber bands in. So, but they're very loose, and you just put them in there. And I started out doing it like this the 1st of September, probably in August, but the 1st of September, just to make sure that I can find a style that if someone is just freshly doing their hair or freshly doing their locks and they don't really know the a protective style. And the reason I call it a protective style because when you when I wet my hair, I soak my hair, and then I take the shampoo. It's a lot of shampoo. Anyway, I put a lot of shampoo in a squirt bottle. My hair is soaked. I squirt the shampoo. I shake it first with the water, squirt, and it comes out soapy already. So that's a good start. So you can get in a good shampoo. And then when it's time to rinse out the shampoo, of course you're not having that much buildup. Okay, so I did the first row. And now we're going to do the second one. So what I usually do is I go here with my hands. I just pull this down like this. And make sure that none of this is, but I'm just amazed and thankful. I hope you heard all that. If not, you got to see it. I'm just amazed and thankful of how the hair is locking, still having the opportunity to do what it's going to do at the ends. And again, I call this the protective style of putting the rubber bands in so that each day, well, I don't leave them in all the time. I take them out, but I put them back in what the day before I'm going to wash my hair, just in case I want to wash it in the morning or in the afternoon. It's just all day in, and then when I wash, I usually take it out. This time I'm doing it the opposite because I want to see what happens. But I was thankful that when I washed it, it did not combine. I thought it did, though. I'll be honest. I thought it did. But when I looked in the mirror, I was like, oh, look. I am noticing that it's drying faster. So what I do, I take these fingers that are loose, while holding the hair, and then let it go. I don't know if you saw that, so let's do it again. What I'm doing is making sure that there's no hairs in the scalp part. And some of this row that I'm doing now did split and separate. I think it's 7 on that row. So I'm considering myself, I got my thumb out and this finger. I'm considering myself semi free-forming. Because I'm making sure that my locks are separated. It feels nice, very nice, to know that if you continually study and learn and practice, that you can get any type of license that you want. One of the main things that I noticed while I was tutoring to get your license to become a licensed natural hair care practitioner is that there's not a stigma, but there's more of a fear regarding taking the test. And so what I did, I told you all that I was going to take my test in October. We started I think it was the last week in August, tutoring the book online. And then after the last week in August, I was saying how we were going to take our test in September. Excuse me, we are going to take our test in October. But then I was hearing all this negative stuff, period. not from you all, but just in the atmosphere and environments. And I began to speak. I began to tell you all how you're supposed to speak into your environment what you want to see, exactly what you want to see. Don't be afraid to speak what you want to see, because that's how it gets in the environment. Remember, I was explaining to you how in the beginning, when God created the heaven and the earth, see, heaven didn't know it was going to be heaven, earth didn't know it was going to be earth, but now we call heaven heaven and earth earth, right? Okay, and we weren't even there. Okay, so then he began to speak and he said, "Let there be light." And see, light didn't know it was light, but some way, somehow, light became in the environment. Just like I learned that, or thought, or think the way that I'm telling you, and began to speak it, I started calling myself a licensed natural hair care practitioner. That's what I began to do. And I said, you, that's me. Remember that? Okay. So when I began to do that, I'm putting in my environment who I am. And now look, and this is before October, because it doesn't take long to get over fears. What happens is once you notice that there is a fear, you begin to become the boldness that you want. You become who you want to see. And then you go after that. You're not chasing after fear. You're not chasing after, oh, I'm afraid to take the test. Oh, I might flunk the test. What if you did? So what I began to do is address every single negative that could come about regarding becoming a licensed natural hair care practitioner. Then once everything began or became squished and under my feet, and I began to realize that I also have authority over that, I took the test within 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I began to speak it. I began to say, I am a licensed natural hair care practitioner. I even told you all how I was going to write it. I was going to write my name, mzjanis. Then I'm going to write a capital L, a comma. I don't even know the right way to write it, but that's how I write it, to let you all know that I am now a licensed natural hair care practitioner. You see, and then I began to speak what I wanted to do as a licensed natural hair care practitioner. And I said that I'm going to be, or I suggested that we all, as a licensed natural hair care practitioner in whatever state that you're in, you go to CSD or DHS or whatever it's called in your city, where they place African American children in the homes of individuals, and you offer your services, and then you put a price on it, because there are not too many of us like that out there. And then you begin to find clubhouses. They're not called clubhouses. Well, they probably are, but let me try to think. The Girls and Boys Club. And there are people there, there's young ladies there at the Girls and Boys Club who you can offer your services at the Girls and Boys Club for a nominal fee. If you want to charge anything, $15 for the session to tutor how to become a licensed natural hair care practitioner. You charge each person $15, which is money out of their pocket, which will really make them want to do because they're paying money. You're not asking the people to do it. But if they just so happen, yeah, you can do that. We'll get a group of kids together. And that's what the Girls and Boys Club is. The Girls and Boys Club, or any club, YMCA, YWCA, any club, you can go in and offer your services for a low price, $10 a person, because all you're doing is tutoring to become, and you're telling them you. And so in order to do that, you need your freelance authorization license. And in Portland, Oregon right now, in Oregon, oh, did you see that? Look at how that one is. That one's like, it just needs to grow longer so that it can go down instead of instead of sticking straight out. Okay, a freelance authorization. You want to be a freelance authorization, which allows you to do what you do outside of a licensed facility. This one right here, I like. This is the best lock yet. And once you get started, you are doing what I do online. That's how come I do what I do online for free. I mean, if you want to pay me, it's $75, but I tell you everywhere to go, you go to your state's health licensing office online and just put in natural hair care. Just those words, because some of them are called practitioners, some are called specialists, depending on where you are. I know in North Carolina they're called specialists. What I'm hiring is licensed natural hair care practitioners who specialize in locking, who specializes in braiding, who specializes in weaving, who specializes in hair extensions, who specialize in you just whatever the licensed natural hair care practitioner allow. Whatever your license allows, that's what I want you to specialize in. And me personally, I specialize in locks. That's all I do. I mean, I did go to a salon and offer my services free. I wanted to volunteer at a salon, and she said that I don't need a volunteer. I need someone who wants to work for money. So that's how you get in. You do, you do what Miss Janice does. Miss Janice comes online and tells you what she does and how she does it. Oh, there's another one. It's just a, oh, that's right. I forgot. I washed I washed my hair without the rubber bands. Normally it's the other way around. And I like my hair. See how my line is growing back in? And this is gray. I thought this was growing in, but when you look real close, it's silver hair. I know. That's what I said. I said, "Oh no! I thought I was getting a new hairline. No, it's the hairline already. It's just silver because one side of my hair is silver and gray, silver and black, and the other side of my hair is black and silver. So you can tell which side it is. See, even when I turn it, you can see more silver. I'm trying to find when it's not done. Okay, so far that's done. So let's do this one. And I told you, I think it was the last time we were together, how a lot of there's long strands of hair with balls on the end. I wasn't going to pull them off, but they kept going this way, that way, and locking to other pieces of hair no matter what I did. I mean, at 1 minute, I'll be doing like I'm doing right now, separating. And in another minute, it's like, wait a minute. So 1 minute, I'll be separating. The next minute, I go back and then I say, wait a minute. So it's like within 3 minutes. No, I just said that because I thunk it. Okay, so here's one that's separating. I don't know if you'll see it, so I'm going to hold it here and see it's separating. It hasn't reached up yet because this is how I usually just let it separate. And then I separate it like here and I go to the scalp. But this one isn't all the way separated, so I'll leave it together like that. And that's the nice part I like about the loose locks because they tell you how they want to be. And I just let them. But when I did this one right here, it was separated all the way down to the scalp, to the root of the hairs. And then that one didn't do it. So I couldn't really show you how it's done. But maybe I'll find one. No, this just has a whole lot of them at the end. So I'm enjoying this loose lock journey as an adult. I'm hoping to come on tomorrow with a video starting someone's hair from start to finish, a little one's natural hair from start to finish. This hurts. I might have to take it out. It doesn't hurt the ear itself, but this part keeps poking. Maybe I'll turn. Thank you. Maybe I'll turn it around so that the poking part won't stick in my neck. And I'm separating. That's what's taking me so long. These are the little ones. I don't really want little ones in my hair. I mean, like really little. I have those would be called small, really tiny. This is will be called considered medium, and then I have some fresh ones that are large. So this is about three. Here's a new, and the only way I can tell they're new is because they're real thick. This is a used one. This is already big. These are basically the ones that I'm using in my hair now. So later on today, oh, here's one that's basically already separated. Hold on. I got to grab it. It's this one. But see how small that is? And they're both small. This, I don't know if you saw this. I'll hold it this way. This is already separated, but they're both small. So I usually just put them back together because I don't want them small. I did small already. When I first started growing my hair, I had 158 maybe locks. Then I tried to combine them with the rubber bands, and that wasn't working at all. Period. It's like my hair was saying, "No, I'm not having it." It just itched and itched and itched and itched, and no matter what I did, it just itched and itched and itched and itched and itched and itched and itched, and then it itched some more. And then after I greased it, oiled it, washed it, it itched some more. And then it itched some more, and I was like, "I think it's the rubber bands," because it really did itch. But these, for some reason, are not doing it. These are new rubber bands, by the way. Not new, meaning I haven't used them before, but after some of the itchy rubber bands are like in the bottom. And those rubber bands, when I took them out of my hair, I just threw them away. I didn't even try to reuse them. I didn't. But keep looking because you want to make sure that they're so big that all you're doing is separating to keep your parts. That's it. Until your hair locks and the ends are not connecting. Because I mean, one of the ends I had it started like on this lock right here, probably still there, and it went all the way down here. And that's how long my natural hair, when it wasn't locked, was. And I was like, "Oh my goodness, look!" But it was happening all over. Now, when you do your hair, your own personal hair, you can do certain things. But as a licensed natural hair care practitioner in a licensed facility, you would not be able to reuse rubber bands. You would not be able to reuse combs without disinfecting them or sterilizing, or I forget the other word. You have to follow the rules that are in the module. It's almost like, why do the module if you're not going to follow the rules? I was asked to bring a model for next week. Tomorrow, I was supposed to bring a model to do braids, and I called and I made sure that I had. I'll try that one later. And made sure that I had a person who I could just start their hair off, so that the young lady could see how I did the hair, or deal with the person and their hair. Like Do I use long clips? Do I use the butterfly clips? Do like that. They wanted to see me work. And I had the model all ready together. Oh, we're gonna do this, yes! And the mom was excited, and it was just amazing. She was glad for me. I got my license because I didn't tell nobody. I only told you all, and I was gonna get my license. And then I just went online and started tutoring how to get, how to study. Told you some hints about studying to remember. Brought out some practicals, did some practicals, etc. And when I got to the lock, the retwisting or the re-knotting of the locks, because I do with J hook, I make knots. Anyway, so I was talking to the young lady that goes to my church, and she said that she could get me in with somebody at DHS, that's what it's called now, so that I can do tutoring to parents who have African American children and wanted to learn different styles of how to do their hair. I said hair. That even sounded funny to me. Hair. And I just got it. It was almost like she made me like, okay, you want to do that. You've been put it into the atmosphere. You've been put it into the environment. Stop talking about working in the shop. Because she has locks, and I was asking, did she know anybody who wanted starter locks? She said me, and I didn't even text her back. I called her. I was like, "Are you redoing your hair?" She said no. Ouch. See, that was an old one. I just popped myself. That wasn't old. I mean, it's probably an old one, but it didn't pop. And so I was like, "Are you redoing your hair?" And she was like, "No." And I said, "Well, I need somebody." And then that's when she began to talk. So I have the model that I'm doing tomorrow, hopefully. That's if they come. If they don't come, it's fine. I already know what I want. I can wait. See, we're not in a rush to do it. We just need to put in our atmosphere and our environment as to who we are. And it could be plain old talking in the environment, or it could literally be talking to somebody. You're still putting it in your environment. Okay? So don't forget that. Don't forget to put who you are in the environment. I remember when I started putting my name in the environment, I literally, for real, like seriously, like, and I would go to intersections, stand on a manhole, because some manholes are in intersections, and I knew where one was. And I was standing and just yell out my name, Janice Faye Osborne, or Miss Janice, or at whoever I was considered as. I would just put that name out there, depending on which one I was going to use. So I didn't know which one I was really going to use, so I chose Miss Janice, and that's how come I'm Miss Janice, a licensed natural hair care practitioner, because I've already put it out there in the atmosphere and the environment. Oh, here's one that's splitting, but I'm going to put these back together. But one is bigger than the other. It's this one. See how they split at the end, and then I just go in like this. But this one is way too small, and this one is too small. So that's what I usually do. And I'm hoping you can see that. If not, okay, I usually hold it, get the loose rubber band, and now you can see how small it is when it's together. See? So if it's small already and it comes loose, I don't let it stay loose. This one right here, and at the end it's splitting again, if you can see. Not a negative splitting again, but it's almost like one has three. It's like three locks. This is what I was telling you about. I found one. It has three locks in it. Hallelujah. This is not small, but it's new. That's one of the medium ones I was telling you about. And you can tell it's new because it's thick all the way around. This is one, but you can tell it's been used. But that's a medium one. That probably was a small one that has been used and stretched. So if you hear pop, you'll know for real that it's been used. Anyway, all is going well. I've been on tutoring set showing how I tutor to read because I'm going to tutor the GED manual is really a test booklet to prepare you for your GED, to receive your GED. And then I have these pathway courses, like one is going to be Spanish, one is going to be uh, natural hair care practitioner. So as I'm teaching the as I'm teaching the GED is the book is this thick. I don't know why I don't keep. I don't know. I don't even know why I don't have it on my desk all the time because I'm always talking about it now. But as I teach that, and as I'm going through it to give you a break in between, I'm going to teach either the I'm going to go through the module again, natural hair care, or I'm going to teach Spanish. Just maybe a chapter of Spanish or a section of the natural hair care module like that. To give you a break. And some people might come on and say, Miss Janice, I really don't want that. I really would like for you just to plain old teach the reading part. Or I really would like for you to do like that. Ouch! That one popped me in my head. That was a little one. I thought that was a new one. Yeah, they're popping now. We use popping as like, yeah, they popping now. They popping over there, like as a good thing. This was not a good thing. Well, it didn't really hurt, but look at it. It's just coming into its own little hairstyle, sticking up every single last one of them. All I'm doing is just keeping it right like it is. So, like I said, that's the good thing. And from out of the module, you're learning that don't put so much pressure or tension on your client's hairs. Don't do that because you can permanently damage it. You can damage it at the root. You can pull the hair out. Um, so that it won't grow back. So far, what I am learning, what Miss Janice is learning, is that when you continually go over something, the more you go over it and the more you do it at the same time. It's basically if you do practicals while you are studying, even if it's something like I've been doing, the simple and the basic stuff. Like when you talk about tools, in order to remember what tools are, you bring one into your studying. Even if you're not studying online, you literally get up from your studying, go wash your face off, go get some tea, coffee, or whatever you need, and come back with a tool. If you're studying science and they're talking about amoebas and stuff like that, you get up, you get a sponge and like at the dollar store, you just get a sponge, put it in some water, and you know how they come in these little teeny cute little capsules, and you open it up, you put it in water. By the time you get done, depending on how much water you put in, it comes out like this from out of that little teeny capsule. You allow your mind to explore, to help you to remember. You allow you to help you to remember and talk about what you are learning. If you teach somebody what you're learning, that means you got it. Like Or for example, when I would not remember something, I would write it down. And for the longest time, I thought camas braid was, and then I told y'all what it was. And then I don't know about the second time after I wrote the word camas down, at the second or the third time after I wrote the word down, I was like, oh no, all this time in my head, I thought camas was when you braid under like that. That's not it. That's called cane row. Oh no, and if you were there, you remember. But it's it's like I knew what it's not. Now I don't even remember what it is. So when I go over the book again, of course I'm going to remember because I know it's not camas. I know it's cane row, and it's in the same line on the same page when it talks about cornrow. The difference between camas and the difference between cane and cane row and cornrow is the way you hold your hands. When you cornrow, you do like this. When you cane row, you grab the hair like this, and you under, and you get the same effect, the same experience, the same. Oh, girl, your hair looks so cute. Oh man, who did your hair? Like that. You get the same end result, but it's how you do it, how you start it, and that's what I've been teaching: how to start studying, how to start like that. You need to know how you learn. It was a little one in my Sunday school class today, and I was encouraging him. He's 10, I believe. And I was encouraging, see, and then when you start using it, they just start getting smaller, thinner. So I was telling him basically how he learns. No, no. I was telling him how good he is at what he does. And I told him his end to get to talking to people, because I'm teaching them at a slower rate than normal, teaching them how to be themselves and to witness to people. But I was teaching them that he's already doing it, and he's being himself doing it. No one is schooling him. No, but he's doing it in the natural. He had came and told me his testimony. I said, you're already testifying, and you're testifying to grown-ups. One of the things he likes to state, here's another one that's split, but it's not split at the end. It's split inside, but this is already small, so it's going to stay together. But here's the split right here. These groups are here, right here, and then this. But I cannot split it because the part that's coming, the separating, is too small. And of course, as you can see, it's still kind of long, but it's shrinking at the same time. So that's how you know it's still wet. So I was telling him how, his end is, can I tell you something? He always says that. Can I tell you something? Or can I say something? And usually when you're teaching a lesson, he'll say that instead of raising his hand. That's his end. He'll like, can I tell you something? Or can I tell you this? But his main one is, can I tell you something? And so he said he was doing that in school they was using the Google map or something like that. And he found our church. And then he said that his teacher had said to him, you can always invite me to your church, right? And I was like, I didn't tell him. I told him, I reminded him about that conversation today. But when he was talking to me, he asked me, could he tell me something? So I was listening. I was like, in my head, I don't think I did it on my face, but in my head, I was going, wow, what? You go, boy. All right now. What you say? Right? Because he said that he was telling the kids in the class where his church was, or showing them, excuse me. I don't know which one. But he said that his teacher came over and started asking him questions like, where's your church at again? And, like that. And so he told her where it was and on the map and stuff like that, which was really nice. So he wanted to tell me about that. And again, I'm saying unto you that if they're not having the balls on the end, they're just like, I can't find one now. But the pointed part like this is gone. See how there's a pointed part on the end? Some of them are, it's like they tucked in some kind of way. I don't know how they did it. But I am going to try to remember to find that one that still has the original knotting on the end. I found it yesterday and I was like, what is this? I think it's this one. It might not be, but that's one of them if it's not. That's the original knotting, and only one of them has it so far. But it was really long, so I don't think that's it. I was like, what is, how did that? And then I remember I knotted my hair at the ends. There's another one. But they're all coming out. This one is split in like three. But the clump is still here. See how loose it is at the root? So the rubber band has nothing to do with pulling on your hair or anything like that. You want the rubber bands only as a protective hairstyle. And what you're protecting is your parts. Because they're still going to lock. They're still going to knot. I mean, they're still going to marry. They're still going to try to find a way. So you want them to only marry within that section. Hey, I didn't do that one. You only want them to marry within the section that they're in. So I don't know. Oh, there's one. See, at the end, it's just a poof. The whole thing is a poof. There's no, see, there's no pointed end. Several of them are like that too. I think she's done. If not, oops. And I'm trying to now get 58 locks. So that's how come I don't mind it if they're separating. Oh no. Look. I felt a ball. It's a ball of hair. But it wasn't, it was just like I did like this and I just felt this ball. I thought it was something. So I fed it through. I didn't pull anything. So that's like the third one I found like that. And right now with my hair like this and out, it takes approximately 1 hour to dry. I don't think I've been on an hour, but that's how much it took. Okay, so let me tell you what I did after I got out of the shower. You know my little scarf routine. I have a blue scarf. It's over there. So anyway, what I do is I take the scarf, put it around my neck like so. Not this scarf, but it has to be a big one because this is not gonna work. It's just that I didn't want to get up to go get it. And then I put it over my head like a hood, pat it. Sometimes I do the Our Father prayer. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever, ever. Amen. Literally take it back. And then I'll hang it where it normally needs to be hung, in the bathroom. And then I do like this to the whole head. Hey, I just felt some water. Hold on. To get it separated again. And that's how come I was so amazed when I saw that it was like still separated because I didn't change the routine. I just didn't put the rubber bands in. Because normally after it gets dry, I take the rubber bands out. Or after I wash it, excuse me, I take the rubber bands out so that when they're dry, they is like nothing hindering from drying. And then I noticed that sometimes I will put a what is that thing called? I call them tubes, lock sock on, the real one. You know, you take the sock, fold together, drop it in, put it around, tighten it around your head, put the sock in it, put a band around it, and then go out. But today, that's why I had some good news and some very good news. And I like doing this so that they will know that they're free to do whatever they want to do. I still do the rubbing around, but I don't really care if I have flat locks or not. I'm just doing it like this so that I can show you all how to get cylindrical locks. That's a practitioner word. Cylindrical. Okay, I'm going to go so I can go back to getting my food handler's card. I mean, to take studying to take the food handler's test. This is a little teeny one. Look how little that one is. But not today. I think what I'm going to do though, there are some bottles in the store that has a neck on it. I think I'm going to put probably this is about 500 in here. Probably a little more. Whoa. Yeah, five. Well, it's a little more because I bought 2 bags at Walmart. They were like 90s, 250 in it each. And then I still have some from when I bought this container. This container has been around. Instead of taking um, rubber bands out and giving them to people, I usually give the container, but not no more. Now that I know better. You know, the container could have, the rubber bands could have fell on the floor. And they were like, whoops, she'll never know. Let's put these back. You know. Okay, you guys, I am very thankful that you were here. I appreciate it. This is Miss Janice, your licensed natural hair care practitioner. Just wanted to come on and hang out with you regarding studying what I did to my hair, what makes it different, how I keep it the way it is, um, doing loose rubber bands as a wrapping your hair with loose rubber bands as a protective style does not harm or hurt your hair. The rubber bands basically come out. Uh, I'm just doing a protective style for your loose locks, just in case you're young and have questions. You know, I parted my hair, but the parts are loose in yourself, and I had to comb that out. And you don't have to go there. All you do, especially if your hair is long, all you have to remember is that your hair will need to be separated if you're not just actually free forming. If you're not actually free forming, you want to leave your hair alone. But I started out touching my hair, bothering my hair, and I found out. Oh, yesterday. I'm sorry. Hold on. I know I said I was gonna go, but yesterday I took this and I started doing that style I was telling you about, where you just simply twist it. So you start practicing. When you can do it, you know, you actually know for real that your hair is really growing. But I already know that my hair is long enough to twist. Oh, here's another one that's separating. See, what's keeping it together is this end part. But as you do your locks, you feel how they're separating. I want my locks to be bigger this time, but I don't want more. I don't really want over 58. I started out with 42, I think. But since they're starting to separate, and it's basically in the back of the head, because the ones on the sides and the ones, definitely the ones on the top, I tried to start those out big. Hey, this is not banded. How did I skip that one? But anyway, I started these out big. I started this one out like this, and then as it grew a little, separated. This one separated, but it's too little. And that's the very area where I had no hair. So there's not too much tension on the top of the head anyway. And there's not too much tension on the edges. So every now and then, I don't put a rubber band on this one nor that one. And at this angle, you can see my gray hairs. And at this angle, you cannot see the black. I mean, the gray, silver hairs. Because this side is more silver than black, and this side is more black than silver. I don't know about the back. Doesn't matter. Y'all have to tell me one day. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. Very, 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 very much. All right. This is Miss Janice, your licensed natural hair care practitioner, saying, I will see you later. I'll be back.